Hi, I'm JimmyNavio. What's up? Hello, Mr. Meshyf. Hello, interwebs. Hello, world. We're doing a podcast. Another week, another Wednesday. Welcome to the Hit the Bucket podcast. I am JimmyNavio, and here in a minute, I'll be bringing on my co-host with the most, Mr. James 28. Friendly reminder to anyone out there listening, this show is recorded live. We do it live, and there's very little editing, so you get to hear all of our mistakes. But we do it live over at twitch.tv/JimmyNavio. So come hang out. Come interact with us. It's a good time. Also, friendly reminder, we have a YouTube channel. You can go to youtube.com/JimmyNavio. There are other links, but that's probably the easiest to remember. youtube.com/JimmyNavio. We have all the episodes there. We have highlights from the episodes. We've got some other shit that's unrelated to the podcast, but yeah, that's the thing. Go check it out. Also, we have merch. You go down to the link there in my Twitch channel or on the YouTube video. I think we put it in the description. If you hit the bucket shirt or a mug or sticker or whatever, you can pick one up. We use Designed by Humans. The quality of their products are very good. I have multiple things that I bought from them. I can personally attest to their goods. Good stuff. Also, if you want to reach out to us for any reason, hitthebucketpodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. Please hit us up. Let us know what you're thinking about. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you have a guest suggestion, if you hate the way I look, that's the place to let us know. hitthebucketpodcast@gmail.com. Oh shit, Rob Dog is here. It's true. Thank you guys. Thank you everyone who's here. Thank you everyone out there listening and supporting the show. Creating a podcast has always been a passion of mine, and I'm doing it. Even if there's only 2 people out there listening, I appreciate you, and I want you to enjoy the show. So without further ado, let's bring on Mr. James 28. We'll have ourselves a little chat. No guests this week. Hopefully we'll be back with some exciting guests in the future. We have some people in the back burners that we're trying to work out, but soon. Very soon, we'll have some exciting guests. But in the meantime, James is pretty cool too, I guess. What do you think, James? You think you're cool? I think you're cool.
I've been told I'm a solid 7.5 on the cool scale.
Nice. I like it. That's, I don't know. You're being humble. I think I'd say you're probably, let's turn this music down. I just realized I was busting that music out a little louder than you. Let's see. If I had to give an honest appraisal as one man to another, I'd say you're at least like an 8.59, man.
Ooh, 8.59, going into 2 decimal places.
I mean, you could be in pictures. Oh, by the way, I don't know. I'm gonna call you out because we're actually we're buddies. We're twinsies right now. I don't know if you noticed, but let me move my mic out of the way real quick and see if you pick up the thing we have in common right now.
We both have blemishes on our necks.
We have matching neck zits.
What a strange coincidence.
And the funny thing is, my camera is usually like on the other scene. My camera is flipped, so like it's actually like almost in the exact same spot too.
Mm-hmm.
That is, we're in sync, James.
Actually, if I shrink down a bit, I can hide it underneath my name tag.
You just got to use my technique and use the microphone, the little.
If I bring it, if I move this, see now I'm all behind it. It's not the same strategy.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome, Zit brother. How are you doing? How's your week been? The last time we chatted.
It's been pretty all right. I have a 3-day weekend every week. I scheduled my classes, so no Monday classes.
Nice.
So it's very condensed into 4 days.
Yeah.
Ooh, the 4 days are gonna get even longer. In about 2 weeks, I'm starting up my VITA volunteer work. I'm helping low-income families do their taxes. And by help, I mean I'm doing all of it for free, and they get to sit there and watch me be their tax monkey.
Dance, tax monkey, dance.
Pretty much. I actually can't graduate if I don't do this. Feels bad, man.
It's a requirement of your oh, I turned myself up a little too much. It's a requirement of your
of my major, yeah.
It's like an internship. Does it count? What does it count as? Is it like your senior project or what?
It's volunteer work that you're forced to do. You just have to do 40 hours. I'm only doing 4 hours a week over 10 weeks. So honestly, it's not a lot. But it's like, if I for some reason can't do it, like if I miss an hour or two, I legitimately can't graduate. So it's like hanging over my head. And it starts at 9 a.m. I haven't woken up anywhere close to that early this entire semester.
Yeah. Dude, I have very mixed feelings about that type of stuff as far as college is concerned. I know it's important that you get real world experience, but there's a fine line between real world experience and exploitation, right? Like, I feel like when you talk about internships, or in your case doing this tax thing, or the example that I think is like the worst is doctors, like people in the medical field. They have to do so many years of residency where they basically
get to do like 6 years.
They get paid, but it's like pennies compared to what like the rest of the doctors and stuff make. Like doing residency is just basically like them getting a few years of free labor out of you before you become a real doctor.
Pretty much.
It's kind of crazy. And even internships, I think unpaid internships are fucking criminal. It's
luckily I don't think there are too many of those in my field. Most of the positions are paid, but it's also very competitive.
Yeah.
Very competitive paid internship positions. Everyone wants them.
Yeah.
Because they all pay really well.
Do you have a game plan when you get out of there? Are you networking? You greasing some palms? You talking to professors, getting the recommendations?
Of course. It's like talking to all the professors that still have contacts. We got a career advisor that like knows all of the accounting firms in the area because she used to do that. So that's like straight path. Honestly, my school actually has a very good track record for placing its students, especially in the accounting field. Every single accounting major that has graduated has had a job within 1 year of them graduating. So it's not really an issue.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to settle for a job, you know?
Yeah, there's a difference between having a job and having the job you want, though, right? Like, it's one thing to be an accountant. It's another thing to be an accountant in like a prestigious company at a good position, and it can make a difference, especially 10 years from now, you know? Those credentials that you got to build up that resume.
But current plan is CPA less than 2 years, and then that sets you up. Like once you have CPA, you can go like anywhere because that's like top tier. The only thing that beats you is other CPAs with more experience.
Right.
But you get beat by experience either way.
Okay. And then that's when you fund the podcast, right?
Of course. Gonna budget that out. It's like, all right, here's my yearly paycheck. Here's how much goes towards hit the bucket.
Right now, the podcast budget is literally all of my Twitch donations. Like that's to pay for Zoom and all that stuff, which I'm happy to do, and I'm glad that, like, you know, so far I've been able to mostly fund this whole shebang. Like new microphone, we have matching little audio interfaces now too. I bought that same one that you got on the sale.
It's solid, yeah. I like it a lot.
You sound so much better than you used to with that. That's a new mic, right? And you have the interface. It is, yeah. And I adjusted my levels too now. I felt like you were too good, and I was like, I gotta get on James's level now.
Getting showed up on my own show.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, like I had the blue snowball for so long, and then once I got this one, I like recorded on both of them saying the same stuff and listened to it, and the difference was just like so big. Because you can't really pinpoint what it is, but the mic, it's definitely worth the price. Yeah,
I feel like you definitely get what you pay for. Like after hearing how good your mic sounds, I'm just like tempted to replace mine already. Even though I just bought this one not that long ago, I'm like,
could be better.
I know, I'm so picky now. I was never like really picky on audio before I started the podcast, but now like because I go back and listen to the episodes and like try and improve, it's taken me a while to get used to listening to my own voice. But like I try and listen to the episodes and I said like so many times, or I try and be as objective as possible and improve week to week. And now when I listen to the episodes, I'm like, damn it, James sounds so good.
Yeah, it's funny because I had that same issue. I was like, well, the snowball's good enough. I'm legible to people's ears, and I was like, it doesn't matter. But then you actually get a good one, and you're like, I have been holding back from everyone that has listened to me on the internet. They could have had this for so long.
Yeah, I bet like even your YouTube stuff as well probably increases the production value on all that stuff. Yeah,
especially on the low end, like the lower pitches on the old mic, they would just get muddled or sometimes just like completely lost, and that not even an issue on this one.
Yeah. Speaking of your YouTube channel, you lined up all those Slay the Spire videos, and I just saw their official release trailer for, I guess they're officially coming out of...
Yeah, they are. Right after they just released like their mod support.
Yeah.
So now they're like, we're ready to ship it.
Yeah, I saw someone, who was it? I think it was Brotato. I saw him playing, he's a Twitch streamer. I saw him playing Slay the Spire, and he had a bunch of mods installed. He had like a googly eye mod and shit. I was like, what is this? Like, I'd never even...
Yeah, there's actually, a lot of them are very well made, because I don't think it's that hard to actually mod it. I've seen some, because a lot of people are adding like new classes, and are actually making the classes interesting, like with their own mechanics and stuff. My favorite one right now is the slime bound. You're a slime, and it works similar to the defect where you get those orbs. But instead of channeling orbs, you channel slimes that also do different attacks and stuff. So like they'll inflict poison, they'll like give you health back, they do damage, they have like different status effects. It's really cool, like how much you can actually do with it.
That's awesome. So did you was your creating all of those videos strategic?
I didn't even know they were that close to release.
Oh, really?
I knew it was like on the horizon. I didn't know it was like literally like it's like the end of this month or like the early next month, isn't it?
I thought when the trailer came out, I was like, oh, it's out now. Like I thought it was out.
Oh yeah, it's out.
It's out. Yeah, so that's what I was saying.
As
like
of right now.
Yeah, exactly. It's no longer early access. So I was like, James had to have like had some insider info, because you literally came out with that series of Let's Plays like right before it got officially released. So I'd be curious to see if you get a bump.
A wild coincidence.
If you get a bump in your view count on your videos in the next few weeks, because it's officially out. It's been in early access for so long. I feel like everyone knows about it, but
it actually still had a pretty small player base. But like the people that played it, everyone was saying it's such a good game. And I think there's rumors it's coming to mobile devices, which would mean I'd be playing it even more.
Oh yeah, no, that I could totally see that game finding a lot of success on mobile. Does it have any console releases? Like it'd be perfect for Twitch. If they're not talking about a Twitch release for that game, they are shooting themselves in the foot, because that, like, I could see myself definitely hitting the bucket while I play some Slay the Spire.
Well, let's see. There are a few PC-specific features they couldn't squeeze in that will be coming, but more content later on. So nothing specific.
Dude, that would be fantastic on the Switch. I feel like that would be.
They'd be dumb not to do it.
The Switch is huge. How many units? That's such a huge player base to. Everyone's scrambling to get their stuff on Switch right now. Diablo 3's on Switch. I mean, like everything. Like,
yeah. And it's a great mobile device. The game works so well in that format because you don't really. It's turn-based.
And it's a touchscreen, right? So
yeah,
it is.
So it's perfect.
Yeah, it's literally the perfect like platform for that game. I definitely I would not be surprised if in the next, however, 6 months, a year, whatever, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're coming out with a Switch version.
And yeah, just released today. They have a full banner across the Steam homepage that says version 1.0 now available. But with that, the price went up as well. But even at $25, I'd still recommend it.
The amount of replay value that game has is pretty astronomical. I mean, there's tons of stuff. Like how many characters are there in the game now?
In the base game, there are 3.
Right.
But then the way you can play them, they're really good about it. Because it's a deck building game, so there's many archetypes. There's so many archetypes within those 3 that you can build and adapt to. And then even after you beat the basic version, which is just how they kind of meant it to be played, they went ahead and say, all right, for people that want more of a challenge, we put ascension mode, so now it gets incrementally harder each time, all the way to 20. And it's harder in interesting ways. It's not just enemies are tougher type hardness. It's we'll put a curse in your deck, we'll reduce your max health, we'll do this, we'll make elites spawn more often, we'll make bosses deadlier. Now everything's deadlier. It's it's interesting ways to make it more difficult to keep you want to keep going and hit that Ascension 20.
So is Ascension 20, is that once you hit Ascension 20, that's essentially I've done everything there is to do? Is that the end game? That's
pretty much I have conquered the game as that character, because you have to hit Ascension 20 on each character, and it's pretty. The highest I think I've gotten right now is Ascension 7,
and that's on one character.
Yeah, that's on one character. On the high end, I believe it's the Defect Ascension 7. Low end, the Silent Ascension 4, because they all play differently. So you might be really good at the Defect and really bad at the Silent, and it's really hard to swap into that mindset because they all play differently. The Silent can be really combo draw oriented, while the Defect can be really slow rolling, late game type stuff. You really build up a huge armada for the late game. And then the Ironclad's easy mode, but in Ascension it's actually a lot more difficult.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy. So yeah, that would take you, I mean, do you think you could estimate how long it would take to get Ascension 20 on all 3 characters?
I mean, for me, if I played nothing but Slay the Spire for an entire year, I think I could get it on 1.
Wow.
Just because sometimes I feel the runs where I've beaten that level of Ascension is where I think I got lucky, where it's all the things came together, specifically for the Defect, because there's a type of deck you can build, which is Claw. For each Claw you have in your deck, each Claw deals more damage. And then there's a rare card you can get that draws all 0 cost cards from your discard, and all claws are 0 cost. So you play out all your claws, play that. So you can basically one-shot almost every fight in the first turn if you draw really well.
Oh, okay.
And sometimes that happens with the Defects. So I'm oh, easy. This is a perfect Ascension. I might actually beat it. But then even when you have all these great variables, you could just end up going against a boss that destroys you.
Wow.
There's one, the Time Eater. Every time you play a card, it ticks up. Once you reach 12 cards, your turn instantly ends, and he takes his turn. So even if you think you're going great, you'll get to Act 3, see the Time Eater, and it's oh, my combo deck is actually useless. He's gonna kill me. I can't do anything because I tech too far into this deck early.
That's crazy. And I mean, that's crazy because it would take you that long for one character, and there's 3 different characters, and then on top of that, by time you let's say someone hits Ascension 20 on 3 characters, are there people that have done that?
I'm pretty sure there are. I've seen streamers be at Ascension 20. I think a few of them that I've watched only have 1, because they'll play 1 character and then they're really bad at the other one. But I think there's probably a few people that have actually hit Ascension 20 on all 3, because I've seen people that are good at the game, and they'll be I'm choosing this card because this, and this, and I'm ignoring I'm ignoring this card choice because it seems good now, but as I thin my deck and do X and Y, it's actually going to hurt me in the long run if I take it. And they're thinking of stuff I'm not even thinking of.
Yeah.
They're thinking so far ahead.
Chess, dude. You're thinking 10, 20 moves ahead of where you are now, and like how it's going to affect the game later on. And that's crazy, man. Speaking of chess, what's this auto chess business all about?
Ooh.
I saw, was it you that linked that?
Sweeping the nation. Dota 2 auto chess.
Well, I have no idea what it is. It almost looked like a tower defense type game of sorts, but I really have no idea.
It's hard to explain, right? It's kind of like when MOBAs were the new thing. How do you describe a MOBA? It's like, well, it's a 5v5 team game, but it's basically auto chess uses all the characters from Dota 2, and it's called auto chess because each character is like a chess piece. Yeah. You buy them from the shop, you put them on the board, and then it's your team versus your opponent's team. It's like 16 players played at once, and then it's like you get from a limited pool of characters, and then you just fight until the last person standing. You have like the player character that if your team dies, then he takes some damage at the end of each round for each round you lose. So it's last person standing.
Yeah, so it's not PvP though, right? Like you're not directly playing against other people. You're fighting AI in your board, right?
It's PvP in that you are facing other people, but you don't actually control the characters.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's auto.
So you're facing other people on your board?
Yes.
Because when I saw a guy playing it, it looked like the other. Maybe can you also play against AI? Are there other modes?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I saw. Because the computer was only playing like mostly minions, and then every once in a while a hero would pop out. It looked more like a tower defense type thing. I don't know if that's just
it's like, yeah, it's really hard to like describe what actually happening.
Yeah, I tried to watch a YouTube video of some guy explaining the game, and like I immediately felt lost. It's like I have no idea. But
it was funny to me because all of a sudden all the Hearthstone streamers I follow are playing Dota 2, and I was like, what? I'm like, you guys play a card game. Why are you playing Dota 2 all of a sudden? And then it's like they're all playing Dota 2 auto chess.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I need to see what this is. So I watch it. And like you, I have no idea what's going on. I just see like characters like blowing up and attacking each other. And every once in a while, they're like, oh, I need to spend my money on these things. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to try and wrap my head around it because it, like you said, it's been blowing up. It's more recent in the US though, right? Because a lot of the stuff I was looking at, it looked like it was in like Asian countries. Is it more popular elsewhere? Like
I think it was just in Asian countries first.
Oh, okay.
Because I think like it blew up right now. Someone like said if Dota 2 auto chess was separate from Dota 2, it'd be in the top 10 list for most played games.
Yeah.
Like that's how big it blew up.
Well, and that goes back to what I've always said about like mod tools. Like it's a mod for Dota 2, and now I guarantee you,
was a mod for
right.
Warcraft.
I guarantee you, a couple years from now, there's going to be a standalone game of auto chess. There's going to be the League of Legends of auto chess, right? Like, because League of Legends was just some people were like, "Hey, we like Dota. We're going to make our own version of it," right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be some company, if they're not already working on it, it's going to happen soon. I think there was even, I saw a link, it might have been on Reddit, I'm not sure, but it was like, is it Tencent? Is that the company in China?
Yeah, they're the ones that own League of Legends.
Yeah.
Right?
Was that,
they own a lot
did you
of
post
IP.
that link, or did I don't remember how I came across it, but Tencent was actually like, so Tencent's already asking people, would you like to see a standalone mobile version of auto chess? So like,
they got the money.
That's not like,
and the resources.
I love modding tools for that reason. Like so many new game modes, like Counter-Strike was a mod for originally the Quake engine, and then it moved to the Half-Life engine, and then eventually Valve picked them up and it became an entirely separate game, right? You know, Dota is now its entirely separate thing. There's another one that I bought on Steam I forget what it's called. It's a standalone version of an old Warcraft 3 mod. I might have to pull up Steam so I can remember what it's called. But I really enjoy it, and I play it casually off stream. But so many good games have spawned from modding tools, and that's why people keep asking me, are you going to get the Warcraft 3 remake? And my response is, I'm going to see how good the modding tools are. Because I've played through...
pick it up to play some, what was it called? I can't remember what the old modded games were. Like, Footman something.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was so many good mods for the old Warcraft 3 engine, and then StarCraft 2 has the whole arcade, you know? There's the whole StarCraft 2 arcade, and it's free now, isn't it? Like, I think you can just install the arcade and play games for free.
The arcade has been free for a while, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was more recently that StarCraft 2 as a whole went free to play.
So if they release updated modding tools with Warcraft 3 that are like even better than the StarCraft 2 map creating modding tools, like if they take it to the next level, I'll probably pull the trigger. Because personally, I've played through Warcraft 3 so many times, like I know that campaign well enough. To me, it's not worth it to buy it just for a graphical update.
Yeah, just for the HD remake.
But if it comes with like some new stuff and updated modding tools, and you start to see some really cool mods come out of it, then I'll probably pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. Because even like the StarCraft 2 modding tools with the whole map creator, it was already super powerful. Like they had to hire an outside developer to do some work on it because it was so strong. People could make games in the modding tool that would actually rewrite stuff on your hard drive. So if someone maliciously wanted to do something, they could make a program in the modding tool that would give you a blue screen. It would like delete your system32. So they were like, okay, we need to figure out how you can make it so you can't do that.
Could dial it back a little bit.
It was a bit too powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm excited for that reason. I hope that they take it to the next level as far as the modding tools. I'll have to find that game. I don't want to mess with it right now. I'm distracted, but
starts playing it on the podcast.
Basically, it's a lane defense game where it's 2 teams, and there's like 5 people on each team, and you each have your own lane. So you're defending from AI minions, but then depending on how efficient you are at defending your lane, you gain resources, and you can upgrade. You can either upgrade your defense for your lane, but you can also choose to spend resources to attack the other team's lanes. Like you can send special units. Like you can be like, oh, send this giant fucking, Ultralisk in the next wave. And it'll and then they'll have to deal with it. So it's all just basically strategy and how much do I save versus like keeping my lane alive, because if too many minions pass through your line of defense, you lose. So it's almost like a multiplayer Nexus Wars kind of.
Yeah, I see that. I've played Nexus Wars a couple times.
It's kind of like that.
That's why the modding tools were cool, that this StarCraft arcade was free, because I didn't even play StarCraft. I would still play the arcade games. Yeah.
So I wish I could remember the name of it. So because what happened is it became so popular that they released a company came out and released a standalone version of it. Same with that other one, Desert Strike, or what was that? Red. It was free to play, and it was basically a third-party company, a separate company made a remake of Nuke. What's that? Dude, I'm spacing the names of all these modes that I used to play. But point being that it all came from those mods. So I'm always excited to see people come out with mod tools. There's always the fact that Fortnite came out with that, their set of mod tools. You can hate on Fortnite all you want, but now that they have that creative mode and sandbox, like you've already seen so many cool like custom races and maps and modes and stuff coming out of the Fortnite engine because they added those tools, So that's kind of cool, I guess.
Modding, just kind of cool.
revolutionizing the industry. Because it also gives people who might have like a really good idea, who aren't necessarily like software engineers or developers, a way to be like, oh, cool, there's this tool that I can like maybe show my idea to the world.
Yeah, especially like when you're a game dev, you have a new idea, and you're like, oh, I have to, find a game engine that I want to use that I think will let me achieve that goal, and then build it from the ground up. Whereas when you're modding something, a lot of the hard work is done for you. Now it's just figuring out how you're going to implement what you want.
Yeah, you already have the engine, you already have like the triggers, all the stuff. Like you can even use existing character models just to like get it done. And
just rename them.
Just proof of concept, get it out there or whatever, and see if people like it. I think it's awesome. Oh, Desert Strike. Desert Strike was a custom map on StarCraft 2 that spawned its own game. Yeah, it spawned a game called like Red something. We all played it a couple times, and it's basically just like choosing which minions you'll spawn each round, and they fight in the middle. It's like a tug of war.
There were a lot of tug of war games.
Yeah, I think
solid.
Nuclear Strike was my favorite one that I played a lot. So I enjoyed the one that came out on Steam. I think it was free to play too, but I stopped playing it because the pay model was atrocious.
Oof.
It didn't last because they were like, you can buy this for
greedy.
You could spend $5 for 2 units or something. I mean, it was just like way too greedy of a pay system.
Actually pay to win game.
Yeah. I didn't dig it. So before we move on from game stuff, I wanted to kind of ask you about this. You said you've been playing a game called Neptune's Pride?
Yes.
I'm going to pull this up. And so explain what it is and why it's cool.
Well, it's a browser-based 4X game that's really simplified. You have you don't even have resources. You have credits. You buy everything with credits. You have ships. You have carriers. You have planets. Well, technically star systems, but planets is like a lot easier. And it's a very social game. So right now, I got into it because someone in a Discord community I'm in was like, hey guys, I found a game a lot of us can play together because everyone hangs out. But most of the games we all play are either 1v1 or 2v2.
Yeah.
So not a lot of people can get together to play them. He's like, and it supports 16 players and we can all play. So essentially, you control a little faction in this entire galaxy. And to win, you can set the win condition. Ours is you have to control more than 50% of all the stars on the map. And to do so, you just send your carrier to each star system that automatically claims it. And you just get a blank planet and you fight over planets and stuff. And you do that, you can build ships, you manage your economy. There's different technologies you can research. You have to build up your science. And what makes it really fun is the social aspect. Because if you're going it alone, you can only ever research one technology at a time. And your economy is based on how much you're willing to invest in it. When you take a star system, it doesn't generate you any money. You have to invest into the economy of each star to get more money. And each star has its own natural resources. So one that's low costs more. So even though you've expanded a lot, if you don't have a lot of good planets, you're not going to have any money. So it really rewards building alliances versus other people, because while I'm researching say weapons, my friend can be researching banking, and then we can trade that technology. And now we're both have, in the time it would take one person to get 2 technologies. The 2 of us were able to get it in half the time.
So you said it's up to, with that social aspect in mind, you said it's up to 16 players. Is that 16 players all kind of playing their own strategies? Are there teams? Is it 16 players versus the rest of the people in the universe? How does that part play out?
The game we're playing is 16 players. Technically, we're all against each other. In-game alliances are turned off, which means that just you can't formally have an alliance in the game, a checkbox.
But you can secretly Discord message someone and be like,
so
hey,
that's
what's
what we're
up?
doing. In Discord, it's hey, we're next to each other. would you want to be in an alliance so we're not fighting over like the early game resources, or like, hey, there's this one guy like on the other side of the map, he's very aggressively expanding. Do you want to talk to someone near him and be like, hey, like what's going on? Like what intel do you have on him? Like what is he doing over there? So it's like very social. For example, there's to help kind of balance it out, there's an experimentation research node that at the end of each production cycle, you set it. Ours is every 24 hours. That's when you get credits and when research and all your research tech is done. Rewards points into a random research tree. And
Okay.
he was lucky and got points into one he was already researching. So he had a level 2 variant while everyone else had level 1.
Ah.
Could have just kept it to himself. People could see that his is level 2, but he could keep that technology to himself. But instead, he said, I'll sell it to anyone that wants it for 160 credits.
Whoa.
Which, for the technology he was selling, it basically, if you bought it, it pays itself off in 2 production cycles, so 2 days.
Okay.
But his idea is, it's a very small thing right now. Like, it's not actually worth a whole lot. It pays itself off really fast. But if I sell it for 160 to almost everyone, like all 15 other players, then he makes 160 times 15. Whereas if he just kept it to himself, he would only have made 70.
Ah.
So instead of making just 70, he dipped. I didn't buy it because I was already researching it. I was already close.
Yeah.
I traded mine with someone else for their tech. But if 10 people were like, oh, I want that, then he instantly made like
a shit ton of money
credits easily.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like scrounging for money because our economies are very slow right now.
Dude, that's crazy. That sounds pretty in depth. I feel like this is a game that if I were to get involved, you'd probably be hearing a lot of me saying, "Don't worry about it."
Hey, Jimmy, what are you doing over there? Like, how'd you end up in my section of the system?
Don't worry about it, James.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that would be pretty much. I'd just be trying to swoop backdoor deals and be devious as I do.
Mm-hmm. And it's nice how it kind of self-balances. Like, for example, the one guy that did that, I was watching his movements because you can see who owns what stars. And I noticed, like, oh, he's actually hasn't expanded after this point, which tells me he can't actually reach any other stars. He has to spend money researching another tech, which will let him jump larger distances, which means for a while, he'll be stuck in this area. Well, I was luckier. I have stars that are closer, which means I can expand to more places. And if I'm lucky, get some very nice planets to build some infrastructure on and hopefully pull ahead.
So what's the win condition? Is it killing everyone else? Is it who has the most resources? Like, what is there an end game? Is there a win condition?
The win condition for us is control 50% of all the stars.
So the first person to control 50% is the winner.
Yes. And as I said, it's played over, like, a game lasts like 2 to 4 weeks. A production cycle for us is 24 hours. So it actually takes quite a bit of time to capture stars. For example, I recently marked, you can auto set like where your ships are going. So since I know no one else can contest it, I just like sent it to capture as much as I can. Well, for it to jump like from 1 star to 1 star takes like, the shortest distance I've had to jump was like 4 hours, and then the longest was 8. And then the total trip that I planned for it is like a 72-hour trip just throughout capturing these stars. So you can see it. So what other people are going to see is like me slowly picking up stars on the map.
Okay.
But they won't like see like which stars I'm aiming for unless they start moving towards me and have their own like scanning tech, right, watching what my ships are doing.
So you're the guy saying, "Don't worry about it."
Right now, yeah. They probably notice like, why is he ticking stars into his territory heading towards the center of the map?
Yeah.
Because I identified a cluster of stars that were close to together. So I was like, that's going to be really easy to grab. So I try to go for it as fast as possible.
Yeah, it sounds fun, man. It's obviously targeted at like, it seems like they're targeting mobile users pretty heavily. Like even the layout of this website is very mobile centric. In the industry, we call this mobile first design. You design your shit with mobile in mind first, and then you kind of make it work on everything else. And like if you were to come here and go to inspect, and then Oh, why is it down here? Oh, here you go. The button's over here. If you switch it to a mobile view, which device do we want to choose? Click it. A drop down. Everything's in the wrong place. It's supposed to be on the side. But anyway, it's designed for mobile. That was my point. Oh, it's up here. It's interesting that they would target, because you can play it on PC, right?
Yes. It was because it was funny earlier today. My friend's like, "You need to move your ship away from this planet because mine's about to land there." And I said you could have it, but if our ships collide, they're gonna fight. So I was like, "Oh, okay. Let me see if I could do it on my phone," and it works like fantastic on my phone. And it's not an app; you just go on through any browser.
Yeah. Interesting. All right. Well, I might have to play this damn game now. Thanks a lot.
Maybe you can jump into the next game.
So, did you mention that it's what's it called? 4X?
Yeah, 4X.
And for those who might not know, can you explain kind of what 4X is?
I can. Let me make sure I know what it is. Oh, great.
Because I'm only vaguely familiar. I've never really tried to explain it to someone, but they're generally very large, resource intensive, like RTS type games. But I know there's a few categories that make it specifically 4X. I know the 4 stands for something, right?
Yeah, so it's basically 4X: explore, expand, exploit, exterminate. Because usually in these types of games, like there's other win conditions, but most people settle on kill everyone else as a win condition. So that's where the exterminate comes in. Exploit, because you have to use all the resources at your advantage to win. And explore and expand, that's just how it goes with most of these games. It's usually given a grand strategy games where you're controlling a lot of territory. It's really slow. So stuff like Civ 5, Civilization, that's a 4X. Stellaris is a 4X. Sins of a Solar Empire,
right?
That's a 4X.
Yeah, Sins of a Solar Empire was like an earlier one, right? That game came out quite a while ago, and it was like I remember when it came out, everyone was like, "What is this?" And it was like the first like really commercially successful. Like I remember hearing about that game a lot as like a successful 4X game.
It was recently. I forgot. I think it was free for a bit on Steam, which is why I picked it up. And yeah, you can see like even today it still like runs and looks really good, but it's a 4X. So to actually like start playing it, you have to invest a ton of time like learning what you got to do.
Yeah, I learned my lesson with 4Xs when someone was like, I think it was Gobe. I think it was good old dipshit. He was like, "Hey, you should play Stellaris on your stream." And so for like a Thirsty Thursday one time, we tried to start a game of Stellaris, and we got like, I don't know how many rounds of moves we made it through, but it wasn't much. Like we didn't make it very far into the game. And I was like, so yeah, this would literally, if I were to stream this, it would take weeks before
it's like, when do we play the game? It's like, this is the game.
He's like, no, right now we're scouting and blah blah blah. And I was like, dude, as much as I would love to play this game, there's no way I'm streaming this, because it's just like, at least at the time, my audience, it wasn't something that I think would have probably gone over very well. But I do enjoy these games, and the idea, this one appeals to me because of how long the turns take, and because it is mobile centric, and it's kind of just something you can do when you have the time to do it, and there's not that pressure to like constantly be doing things.
It's like, especially when the entire production takes 24 hours, it's like once you spend all your stuff and map out what you want to do, it's like, well, I can't do anything for today.
Yeah.
So now I have to wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, you can open your phone, maybe spend an hour or whatever, like plotting out all your shit, and then you can just not think about it for a while. That definitely appeals to me, as time lately seems to be more valuable than anything else with everything I've got going on. So cool. He told me about this just before stream, so I wanted to pick his brain a little bit. It's called Neptune's Pride. The website is kind of a weird URL. It's np.ironhelmet.com. I'm guessing Iron Helmet is the is that the publisher or the developer? Or?
I'm pretty sure it's the developers. And I think the largest a game can go is 32 players.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, and is there the option of doing any type of like team play or alliances? Like if you wanted to set it so you could have like teams of 3 or some shit?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. I'm sure I'll have to do some research and like watch the videos and read about it. But thank you for enlightening me. This seems like something I could definitely get into.
Mm-hmm.
I had the pleasure of I don't know if you caught any of my stream last night. Before we move on from gaming, we'll probably take a break after this, since no guests this week, so we're just nerding out about some game shit. But last night on my stream, the Twitch Sings closed beta. I got an email a while back that was like, "Hey, you're up, dude. You can try out Twitch." I think it's because I signed up for it at TwitchCon.
At TwitchCon?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I got the email that I was good to go. So I installed it last night on a whim, and I broke my diet. If for anyone who is wondering, I was definitely not sober last night. I think you can watch the VOD, and it's pretty apparent.
I was lurking during the Twitch Sings, and I was like, he's singing piano, man. It can only mean one thing.
Yeah, I was not a good boy last night as far as my diet is concerned. And there's a really fun moment. Well, I'll have to see if I can find it and highlight it or clip it. Let's just say that I've never seen Lady Navio so upset with me before in my entire life. It was like I was such an asshole. Full transparency. It was like definitely past midnight. I think it was like 1:45 or something. And I was having a blast with the Twitch Sing stuff. I was trying to. Someone challenged me to "What's This," which that's the song from Nightmare Before Christmas with Jack Skellington. What's this? What's this? There's magic everywhere. And that song is hard as balls, especially when you're drunk. But I tried it.
Yeah, the tempo changes so much.
So the problem, well, it's just fast. The whole thing is just like, there's some tongue twistery parts in there. And I was not sober. And also, the problem with that game that does not exist in real karaoke, and I have mixed feelings about it. I have to decide how it suffers from Mario Kart syndrome. I don't know if you ever play Mario Kart by yourself when you're trying to like do a time trial or do a shortcut or like beat a previous record or whatever, or unlock shit. The fact that you can pause it and restart it instantly is a problem. Because like I'd be singing and I'd totally like trip over my tongue or like mess up a phrase, and I'd just boop restart it. And like that's when you get into that vicious loop of just like I restarted that song
to be perfect.
I mean, it got worse, and it was definitely a downward spiral into insanity, because some of them were probably passable attempts, but like then I would trip over a word or whatever and be like, nope, gotta start again. And like I just got caught in that loop of like wanting to make it better and better and better and just nail the entire song, and it got gnarly. I think if you're gonna have a karaoke game, half of the fun of karaoke is watching people fuck up. Like,
yeah, if everyone's a great singer, it's like, what's the fun in that?
Right, exactly. So like letting you restart whenever you want, I'm not sure how I feel about that. I feel like once you commit to singing a song, you should have to sing it all the way through. But I don't know, maybe that's just me.
So what's the collection of songs available look like?
It's pretty decent. They've got rock, country, pop. There was quite a few Disney tracks on there, which I know a lot of people, especially all of our weebs out there with their Kingdom Hearts fascinations. There's a pretty good mix of music. It had Piano Man, so that's good. There were some very important ones missing from. Oh, and Ace of Base, I Saw the Sign. That's a big karaoke hit. But things like that really should have been there that weren't. The best example I can think of is Hotel California was not there.
Yeah, that's a classic.
That's essential karaoke. So I know it's just a matter of licensing. I think there were some Beatles tracks on there. So it has a lot of classic karaoke, but I think it could be better. And I think over time, if it gains in popularity, what I didn't realize is when you finish a song, it gives you three options at the bottom. It gives you back, it gives you retry, and it gives you save and continue. Now, what I didn't realize, I thought save and continue just meant like save your progress and keep playing the game. Like most games, you're just like, oh, save and continue.
But you were in for a surprise.
When you hit save and continue in Twitch Sings, it creates a separate VOD of that performance in your video library on your Twitch account. So if you go look at my videos tab on my Twitch, if you go to twitch.tv/JimmyNavio and you click on videos, there's like 12 Twitch Sings performances from me. Today I was like, oh man, that was crazy. And I went and looked at it today and I was like, oh, these were all saved. And I was not anticipating that, but I decided why not? We'll leave them. We'll leave them for.
Wait, you have a duet on here?
I tried to do a duet. Her timing was a little funky in a few parts. I think that was the "Be a Man."
And what's a duet like?
So
how does that work?
How a duet? So when you do a performance, you can choose if you want to do a duet. You can either choose to do a duet with someone who already did one, because there will be 2 parts. Most of them, I didn't see any with more than 2 parts. But what you do is you say, oh, I want to sing this song, and then you choose solo or duet. If you choose duet, it asks you which part you want to sing, first or second, or down below, it gives you a list of people who have already done a part. So if you want to do, like, let's say you don't want to use an existing one, you want to make your own first part, you can record that video and then save it. So when other people go there, they'll see that, oh, okay, JimmyNavio did the first part. I'm going to go and use his video, and I'm going to do the second part. And the cool thing about that is that way you can like hit the harmonies and stuff. Because like, you know, if there's parts of the song where you have to harmonize with the other person. So on that one, I chose a girl who had already done the second part for Be a Man. And then I sang the first part. And then I tried my best to like, you know, harmonize with her and kind of like fill in my part.
That's actually really interesting. I didn't know they had that kind of feature.
Yeah, so the more people that are able to get on and do it. I know when I was doing it last night, a few people in chat were trying to, I think Meshyf and that Bishop girl and a few other people were like, oh, I want to get on there and record a part so you can do the duet. So there's that natural, like, it's kind of a cool way to do karaoke with people across the internet, you know? Like someone's like, oh, I did a part 2 on this one. You should go sing the part 1, and you know, we can, you know, collaborate on it.
Yeah, you can sing a duet with your viewers. Bring chat into your house.
The only problem I foresee with that is, you know, we talked a lot about the difference between like good self-promotion versus douchey self-promotion. I could see a lot of people like creating, like you record the part 2 of a duet, and every once in a while you just slip in like a follow my channel, you know? Like it just like,
twitch.tv/JimmyNavio, and then like,
yeah, because
in the duets, like, what?
There's really nothing stopping you. I mean, maybe they'll patrol it or they'll have some type of system in place or policy to prevent that, but you could just not sing the song at all, and just like, you know, if I had something connected to the input on my computer, I could just start playing "You've Been Gnomed," or, you know, I could just like totally just play audio clips or like pull up a soundboard and just record bullshit. Like there's nothing preventing you from just trolling the shit out of it, as far as I can tell. That was my first thought, is I was like, people are going to abuse this.
I can already see the gnomed coming up. As soon as like more bigger like Twitch streamers do it, they'll be like, oh, like definitely like do this duet with this person. And they're like, oh, all right. They click it, and then it's "You've been gnomed."
Right off the bat, you just hear "You've been gnomed."
Or like, the slow burn, like it's perfectly a normal duet, and then right when like an important harmony comes up, right then "You've been gnomed." Ooh.
Or even well, and I honestly think that's why they're limiting access right now to like people who already are established streamers who have been at TwitchCon, who have like, because they'll be less inclined to like. Because, you know, there's also, like, for example, people who have song requests turned on, there's always that issue of, like, people putting songs on YouTube where it'll be, you know, one of the typical, like, let's say it's a Rickroll. But right in the middle of the Rickroll, it's like, "Suck my dick, bitch." You know, it's like some, like, just screaming, mic turned all the way up, just trolly shit right in the middle of the song that's super offensive, just to trigger everyone in chat. I could see people trying to pull stuff like that if they weren't concerned about their Twitch account being banned. So I think that's maybe that's how they'll regulate it, is like, hey, like we're only going to give people access to this if they've proven that they're not going to be giant assholes.
Yeah, they don't want people coming on and then ruining the fun.
Right.
Because right now, yeah, like it's only streamers that I think can have it or have access to it right now.
Yeah, and even then, it's not all streamers. I think right now it's pretty much limited to those who have been to one of the sign-up events. So we'll see. I don't know. It was fun. I enjoyed it.
Oh, I certainly enjoyed watching it.
Well, that's the whole point, right? I'm glad I was able to entertain some people, and I love karaoke, even though I'm terrible at it. I'm always like trying to get Lady Navio to go like let's go out, let's go do some karaoke, and she's like,
no.
I'd shoot me in the face. Like I mean, not that extreme, but she's more of an introvert, so she'll go out and have fun with me, but I'm a little over ambitious sometimes.
Karaoke is one step too far.
Yeah. Well, she'll do it, but the thing is like whenever she does karaoke, it's whenever I'm not around. Like I'll just get some random video. She'll like message me when she's out with like her and her best friend, or like she's like, "Oh, it's so silly, we did karaoke." I was like, "I've been trying to get you to do karaoke for like the last 6 months, and you hang out with her and do karaoke. I'm jealous. Makes me sad." No, but
feel betrayed.
Mostly, I think she doesn't want to do it with me because I'm embarrassing.
I can't go to karaoke with Jimmy. He's so bad.
He had one too many Jack and Cokes. Meshyf said everyone's an introvert compared to you, Jimmy. I mean, fair enough. I guess there's that. Maybe that could be a true statement. I don't know. I just like people. I can talk all day. I can talk to myself all day. I just like words. I like consuming them. I like producing them. Give me the words. Let's do it. So yeah, that was my experience last night. I played a few other games too. Oh, one other one that is really fun that I enjoyed very much.
Was it the
Hidden
one
Folks?
Where you're like, yes. That's when I tuned in and I was like, what am I watching?
Dude, that game is a blast. It's like digital Where's Waldo.
I was more confused though because you were playing the funk versions of a bunch of music. I thought that was like the actual game music.
Yeah,
I was like, such a weird track to like put to a game.
No, because when I started playing the game and I saw what it actually was, like I had this moment where I was like, dude, this is the perfect game to put on some chill music, smoke a doobie, and just like click on shit. Like it's nothing complicated about it. It's not like, you know, some of the stuff's a lot harder to find, but I was just like, this is perfect. Like I could just see myself just chilling out when I have some time to kill and just being like, I'm gonna find that damn banana, you know.
It was like a more advanced version of those like those I Spy games that used to be around back in the day.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And the band I was listening to, by the way, if you guys have never heard, Bollocks is actually the first one who told me about them when he actually introduced me to them when we were in San Jose for TwitchCon. I jumped in his car to go somewhere. I don't even remember exactly. I think it was after you had left. It was like that next morning or whatever. And he's like, "Have you heard of Scary Pockets?" And I was like, "No, man." And he was like, I forgot about him until I found him again later on because that whole weekend was a blur. But they're called Scary Pockets, and one of the founding members of the band. A lot of people don't know this. He is none other than Mr. Jack. How do you pronounce his name? Is it Conte or Conti? The founder of Patreon.
Wait, really?
Yeah, Jack Conti. He's also the first band he ever started was a YouTube group called Pomplamoose, and they did a bunch of like fun clip together covers and stuff. But Jack Conti is the co-founder of Patreon, and on the side he has a band called Scary Pockets, and they just basically do nothing but funk covers. And I love funk. You guys know that I'm like a huge fan of Wolfpack and you know, especially old 70s funk. My dad raised me on all that stuff. So once I found out that there was a band that literally just takes popular songs and makes funk covers of them, I was sold. So check them out, Scary Pockets. They're a lot of fun. But
the amount of music out there, you can always find something that interests you.
Dude, I mean, we live in the golden age of everything. Anyone who's like, "Oh man, I love old 90s pop music. I was born in the wrong generation." It's like, you dumbass. Like, you wouldn't even...
You can find 90s pop music today.
You can listen to all of it and more today. Like, the whole when people are like, I was born in the wrong era. I was born in the wrong decade. Like, we have more access to more stuff now than ever. You wouldn't even have known that you liked 90s music without the internet. So
I want to see 100 years in the future, people listening to Little Pump and like 6ix9ine and be like, I was born in the wrong generation. Actually, they wouldn't even say that. They're just like,
once everyone, like, literally our language, like 100 years from now, it's just going to be mumbling and emojis and memes. There's going to be no actual spoken language. We're headed towards like Egypt. It's just hieroglyphs are making a comeback.
Why speak when the image can do all the speaking for you?
We can just mumble and throw money at you and emojis and short video clips and giffies. Words are overrated.
Once we can send digital information from our brain to someone else's, that's it.
It's over. It's over.
Like, someone does something and in your head you just mentally transmit a Monka S.
Dude, I want to be sending so many farts to people. Just mind farts. Just be walking down the street and all of a sudden you hear, you know I'm nearby. I wonder if ads will be like that too. That'd be intrusive. You're just walking down the street and it's like, listen to my podcast, bitch. It's gonna be how are you gonna if you choose to have the chip installed, you may never have silence again.
You'd have to pay money to not get ads.
Or what
only the ultra wealthy can hide from ads.
Isn't that a Black Mirror episode? Have you the one where they ride the bikes to earn credits?
Oh yeah.
And then like when he's woken up in the morning in his little white room with all the walls surrounding him with like ads just pop up, and you have to like pay money to turn off the ads.
To skip the ad.
Yeah.
To skip it or turn it off.
Dude, that shit's scary because that could actually happen. I think that's like Black Mirror stuff always freaks me out because I'm like, it's just far enough from like being possible that it creeps me the fuck out. That
first season, they were spot on with a lot of their episodes.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. But anyway, I think maybe we'll take a short break. Unless there was any other gaming stuff going on that you wanted.
Not really.
I feel like there was something that happened in the gaming news this week that I wanted to bring up, but
because I know like some games were released, but nothing like.
Oh, you mentioned amazing. Rivals. Have you been watching that?
Oh, Twitch Rivals.
Twitch Rivals, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
So, can you explain exactly what Twitch Rivals is? Because I'm only vaguely familiar with Twitch Rivals, and I think like it's a cool thing, and I wish more people knew about it.
It was a very League of Legends centric thing, yeah. So basically, Twitch sponsored like this whole tournament event. They took a bunch of League of Legends streamers, so people like the big names like the Cutie Pie, Sneaky, like the One Tricks, Yasuo, like so the really big Twitch streamers that play League, and a lot of the smaller ones. And then Disguised Toast was there too, because I think he counts as a League partner, even though he's mainly Hearthstone but started playing League. So they took all these League players.
Was Painless involved?
He was not.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know like how they did it. That's why I think it was mostly the League partners. It's a partnership program that they have with League.
Right.
So they took all these people and randomly assigned them teams. So you'd have like Cutie Pie with someone that's like low diamond, or like in Disguised Toast's case, he's like a gold player that's playing with people in Challenger. So it was a really interesting tournament because he had like a hodgepodge of teams of varying skill sets and like makeups. because it's like one team was literally all one trick people, like people that only play one champ.
Oh,
And then you have people that are like ex LCS pros
right.
or on a team right now.
Was Tyler one or Lowell Tyler?
Yeah, Tyler
was
one
he?
competed.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. And then I think what was the prize pool? Let's see here. Twitch Rivals prize pool. Because I think it just it either ended today or it's very close to ending. Yeah, the showdown was yesterday.
Oh, okay.
So
there's a bunch of VODs and clips out there already, I'm sure.
all over the place. So let's see. I don't know what the top prize was. I think the people that like if you made top four, it was a $75,000 prize pool. Which
Wow.
is funny because a lot of the advertising was it's a fun, friendly tournament.
There's money.
But you also win the prize pool is also $75,000. So you had a lot of people that are like, it's for fun, but if you actually get pretty far, you're gonna make a lot of money. Because
Right.
like I said, they had a lot of the big streamers and all the small streamers. So a big streamer winning 5K, it's like not a big deal. But a small person like averaging 80 viewers, it's like $5,000 for winning this tournament. It's insane.
Yeah. That's
So it
crazy.
kind of like it was. So it also had that like weird expectation that it's supposed to be a fun tournament, but it was getting really heated because of that big prize pool.
Huh.
But it helped out a lot of the. I follow a couple of Twitch streamers that competed in it, and like they're around like 100 viewers, and then because of Twitch Rivals, their numbers like increased massively, and it also helped to like connect these League of Legends streamers together. So like the big ones, like I'm a Cutie Pie, was playing on a team with a person I watch, Kimmy Kimchi, and now like they're on each other's radar. So like it also helps as like a networking event too.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, stuff like that is definitely cool to see. Communities coming together. So it's called Twitch Rivals. Is there like, does it have its own channel on Twitch, or is it, or are the VODs just like, do people stream it, the games they play? Like if I go to Disguised Toast, will he have like?
So I believe everyone competing in it was streaming their game, but yeah, there was a twitch.tv/Twitch Rivals.
Oh, okay. So it's just.
Oh, it's where that clip I sent you came from.
Oh,
where,
okay.
Because they were rehosting people's streams like as they were streaming it.
Of course.
And then you get people. It was BoxBox that started it. He put on his stream, "Give me Twitch Prime" flashing, and the Cutie Pie starts watching his stream on his stream. So you get the same thing, and then it goes in a loop. BoxBox starts watching his stream doing it, and then you go on Twitch Rivals, and they're looking at Cutie Pie's stream, and it's just flashing, "Give me your Twitch Prime."
That's crazy. But there is, so it's just / Twitch Rivals is the official
Twitch Rivals,
and that's a League of Legends specific event, right?
But I think people are thinking like, oh, it's opening the doors for Twitch to sponsoring more like tournaments and stuff.
I mean, it would be silly for them. Does Twitch sponsor an official like Fortnite?
I don't think
because I know Ninja he did that whole like thing in Vegas where he had that big Ninja tournament or whatever. But
where if you killed Ninja, you got money,
right? And it I don't know. It'd be interesting to see Twitch doing more official events. I don't know.
For other games. I think they're just probably testing it with League because it is like one of the biggest games on their platform right now.
Yeah, I think anything collaborative like that where you get a lot of streamers involved, I think they should do more game shows too. You know, whether it's like Family Feud type thing or whatever, where you just have a bunch of
Twitch squares featuring Soda Pop and Disguised Toast.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool if you had just like more collaborative game show type stuff. Like what is that? What was that game called? 1 versus 100 or whatever. Do you remember that? Where there was like, it was, I forget what channel it was on. It was on TV for a while, and it was basically a trivia game where there was one person who was like the main player, but then there was a panel of 100 people, and they would ask a trivia question, and then the 100 people would all vote for what they thought the right answer was, and then the contestant would, based on, I think they got to know what the 100 people like percentage wise voted, and then they decide what their answer is. And then
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I do know this.
And then the 100 people, all the ones that got it wrong, drop out. So, like on the first question, like let's say 30 people said A and 70 people said B, and the answer is B. Then the 30 people in the 100 drop off, and there's 70 left. So the point of the game is, if you're the main contestant, you're trying to get the questions right until the 100 is down to 0. And if you successfully are able to do that, then you win like a giant prize pool or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it was kind of like Want to Be a Millionaire, in the sense that there were certain points where you could say, you can walk now and this is how much you get, or you could keep going. And I think like a format like that would be pretty cool if you got streamers involved. Where
it worked perfect on Twitch.
Yeah, because you could just have a whole bunch of streamers just like as the 100, and then you can have some random like viewer or streamer or whatever as the 1. Like Meshyf mentions that there was an Xbox Live version of 1 versus 100, and people loved it, and then they stopped doing it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like it was easily work on Twitch. Like you could just have a bot sifting through chat, marks everyone, and then like, oh, if they gave a wrong answer, then it just like blacklists their name. It's not going to listen to them for the next one, and then go down. So it's 1 versus Twitch chat.
Yeah, oh, there you go. Perfect. 1 versus Twitch chat. $1 million idea. See, occasionally we come up with them. Twitch, you're welcome, and we'll expect royalties. 1 versus Twitch chat. We're going to sell this idea to Twitch. That's a crazy good idea. I was thinking more like having a bunch of streamers on as the 100, but that makes even more sense. You have one streamer as the 1, and then Twitch chat is the 100. Like the first 100 people to like click on the overlay or whatever become the...
Gonna hit up the Sushi Dragon. Be like, I got this game show idea. You have the studio perfect for it?
Well, and the reason it works... And the reason people wouldn't troll it is because on 1 versus 100, let's say the prize pool is $1 million, right? Well, the 100, obviously Twitch probably wouldn't be able to afford $1 million, but the 100, if they outlast the 1, they get to split the prize pool. So, like, say you have $1,000 prize pool, right? And it gets down to 10 people versus the 1, and they're able to outlast him. They each get $100. So, Twitch chat's pretty trolly, but I think if there was an actual like prize on the line, then people would probably participate and take it seriously.
Some Amazon store credit split across all the chatters. Because I could actually see that working really well.
Dude, I'm not going to publish this podcast. I'm a software developer.
Just edit this part out.
We're going to create an extension on Twitch and make our own 1 versus chat game, and it's going to be the next big hit. That's $1 million idea right there. No one take it. It's mine. You heard it here first. If you see that game come up, make sure you direct them back to this podcast. I want my royalties, please. But for real, though, that would be a lot of fun. It wouldn't be that hard to do, like you said. I think it's definitely doable. Damn. Now I'm all excited to play 1 versus Twitch chat.
Get working on that bot.
I'm sad that it doesn't
you prototype
exist.
It in your own stream.
All right, I'm no longer streaming. I'm only coding. Sorry guys. I got to make this a reality now. I don't know. Yeah, I could definitely. I've been wanting to make a Twitch extension. I just haven't had a good idea. This might be the idea, if it's not already in the works. I'll be so mad if someone better at programming than me spits that shit out in a week.
They're like, oh, so I saw this really cool extension on this dude's channel. Makes something way cooler.
Anyway, let's take a short break. And I know last week we took a break from the beef. We did not have a beef last week, but we're back. We have a Sheaf's beef, hot, fresh, and spicy. It's on the grill. It's just about ready. So I think we're going to take a short break. Drink your drink, smoke your smoke, hit the bucket, do what you got to do. And when we come back, we're going to eat that beef. See you in a minute. All right. We are back at it. We have a beef. I'm excited. I like the beef. I like having things to debate about. So we're gonna do that now. I'm gonna bring James on here. check out this hot, spicy beef provided by our good friend Mr. Meshyf, twitch.tv/Meshyf. He streams late at night when he's not being a father or a hard worker. He likes to get angry about stuff, and we like to debate the stuff that he gets angry about. We do it in a little segment we call Sheaf's Beef. He's going to give us 2 topics, and we're going to decide which one is the beefiest. So I'm going to switch over to my media view here, bring on James, and that's not the beef, that's Neptune's Pride. Let me pull it up here. I hate that it always starts autoplaying. There we go. All right.
I got it open and ready to go.
I'm going to crank it up to 11. This out of the way here. So we have not watched this ahead of time. We're all watching it together for the first time. Pause my music. All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I gotta
just give me the word.
Get the right screen here. There we go. All right, we'll do it on 3, or we'll do it on go.
All right.
All right, 1, 2, 3, go.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Sheaf's Beef.
Welcome back to the ring. I'm your host, Meshyf. It's been a week, so let's get to the beef. First beef is riding dirty. I don't mean traditional
like
sense.
the
What I
pun.
mean by riding dirty is your filthy fucking car, your dumpster of your car, your garbage can on wheels.
Uh-oh.
If you offer to ride someone somewhere, hey, don't worry about it, man. I'll drive. If the next sentence out of your mouth is, let me just move some stuff real quick, you got a problem. That's red flag number 1. That means your car is disgusting and gross. It's time
Just move
to
these
clean the shit
McDonald's
up.
wrappers
If
real
I get
fast.
into the back of your car and my feet don't touch the ground, they're resting on a cool collection of water bottles, we need to reevaluate some life choices here. I'm not saying I'm super clean. I'm not saying that it's got to be immaculate or 100% detailed. I'm just saying, when you're done with your water bottle, take it out of the vehicle and throw it away. Clean
those
up your
cigarette butts.
car, clean up your world. You'll look better. You'll feel better. Don't leave a dirty car parked in front of your house. It's a reflection of you. It's time to stop riding dirty. So riding dirty, you're the first beef of the week. Second beef. Shopping carts. Now, shopping carts,
Where's he going with this?
just when you're using them at the store, can be a piece of shit. You get the one with the fucked up wheel or whatever, and you're constantly riding the goddamn cart to the grocery store. That's a whole nother issue. The issue here is the assholes, the pieces of shit, the scum of the earth that decides, I'm taking the shopping cart. You know, and if you don't have a car and you're going to take a shopping cart, hey, that's cool. My issue, the problem, is when you decide to dump said shopping cart. Done with it. Put it right here. Boom, goes in this ravine. Right there next to the school. No. If you need that shopping cart so bad that you got to take it with you when you leave the parking lot because you don't have a car, keep the fucking shopping cart. Park that bad boy in your garage. Take it in your backyard. You keep it. You hide it. You stash it. That's your cart from now on. And you know what? No one's going to fault you for that. When you start just leaving it somewhere for someone else to figure out, then we got issues. Okay, then there's a problem. They're going to pay someone to come and get it, and they got to track it down. Then the cost of the store goods go up just because you couldn't take the fucking cart back or you couldn't just not leave it in your house. If you got to take a cart, keep it in your fucking garage, okay? Don't leave it on the street for everyone else. You want to know when you're in the bad part of town? Look for a fucking shopping cart. And that's why shopping carts, you're the second beef of the week. Jimmy, James, chat. What do you guys think? What's the biggest beef of the week? Stick around to the end because there is a right answer, and I'll let you know when you come back.
All right. What's up, James? What do you think?
I think I live in a bad neighborhood now.
Yeah, you got a lot of shopping carts laying around?
Oh, there's a couple, yeah. I don't know, it's weird because it's like they just appear there, you know? You don't really see people moving the shopping carts full of stuff. They just appear randomly in neighborhoods. Sometimes they're flipped upside down. Sometimes they're just sitting there on the sidewalk. Where did you come from? Who brought you here? Why? It's so weird. But I actually never thought about it that way that Meshyf put it. Like, if you don't have a car, then yeah, actually take a shopping cart and like walk it to your home.
Just
Like, I
keep
can
it.
see that. Yeah, I can see that being all right. Yeah, at that point, just keep it. Especially if you think about it, if it was full of groceries, right, and they drove it home, took all their groceries out. It's like on their porch right there. They then had to walk with the shopping cart to some random street and then drop it off and then walk back home. It's like, why do that extra work? Just put it away. Yeah, just keep it at that point.
Yeah.
And then dirty cars. My mom's old car was notorious for that. I'd get in and she's like, oh, wait, let me move some stuff from the front seat. And I'm like, what? And I look in there, it's just full of crap. And when you're above 6 feet tall in any car, you already don't have a lot of leg space. So with more crap there, I was like scrunched up in this car. But then I kind of got a bit, what's the word, used to it. Not the word I'm looking for, but it works. Because my friend, when he would drive me places, his car was always a mess. Random stuff everywhere in the car. And I was just like, he's driving me for free and he doesn't expect me to pay him gas money back. So I'll just put up with it.
You're desensitized.
Mm-hmm. But luckily, I've never seen a car that looked as dirty as some of those images Meshyf had.
Yeah.
Like if someone said, "Oh, jump in," and they had like cigarette butts littered around and like tons of cans, I'm just walking. I'm not putting up with that. That car's a fire hazard. It might explode randomly. I don't know. What about you, Jimmy?
Yeah, I both of these are pretty pet peevey in my book. It's going to be a hard choice for me because before, not to put her on blast or anything. I feel like I've already put her on blast like twice tonight. But before I met Lady Navio, I was super duper anal about my car. Like, just being clean, never leaving stuff in it, never leaving clutter. Like, whatever I take out of the car or whatever I bring to the car, I bring it back inside. I have like a little trash bag to throw stuff away. Like, I always kept my car really, really super clean. Lady Navio, not because she's a sloppy person, but because she was so damn busy, especially when we met. Like, her car just was always cluttered. She always just had stuff in her car.
Mm-hmm.
And, we would take turns driving places and stuff. And, like, at first it really bothered me. I was just like, there's just like a bunch of shit in the back seat and whatever. And it's one of those times where I had to like reflect on myself and be like, am I just being overly critical? I don't know. So I think I found a healthy balance between the two. My car now is not always as immaculate as it used to be. I do agree with his point, especially depending on where you live. Like, Meshyf lives in a fairly nice neighborhood. I've been to his house a few times. He makes jokes about me living on lakefront property. He actually does live in like a really nice house in a really nice neighborhood. So like, if you live in an area like that and you just roll up with your fucking like Geo Metro that hasn't been washed in 3 weeks and you step out and trash spills out of your door, then yeah, people are going to be like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
are you in the right neighborhood?
Yeah, like you're
definitely got a suspicious person over here, officer.
You're gonna get a reputation for yourself. Also, it's funny because that's one of our questions that we always ask our guests. We always ask desk, room, and car, which one do you clean first? And car is like almost always the last one on the list.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but usually they say, "Oh, I don't drive that often."
Yeah, or like some of them don't have cars, they don't drive that often, or it's just whatever. I think cars, if your car gets that dirty, it is a direct reflection on you as a person. Because who was it? One of our guests that we had, when we asked that question, they said, as far as cars, as long as you take more out than you put in, so like you throw some stuff in there to go do something, right? As long as you put one in, take two out, right? Like, as long as you're just kind of conscious of like making sure you take stuff out every time you get out of the car, just grab a couple things and take it into the house. it shouldn't ever get that bad. It's not. It doesn't even take that much effort to keep clean. So that's a direct reflection of you as a person if your car's just full of shit all the time, because that's just like long-term neglect. So that's a big beef, honestly. Like really, really messy cars. When you drive down the highway and you see that guy who can't even see out his rear view mirror because it's just piled up with trash in the back. Like that's. Or people who like put my my grandma used to just have like rows of stuffed animals in the back window of her car.
Mm-hmm. I act surprised, but my mom does the same thing.
So like that's not necessarily dirt. That's just like clutter, and that also drives me crazy. So yeah, I could rant about that one for a while. Shopping carts, I think, might be the lesser beef for me. As annoying as it is, it doesn't happen that often. I mean, I do see them, and it is definitely annoying. But again, this is one of those things where places are starting to get smart. Now a lot of the stores near me have those proximity carts. I don't know if you've seen those, but a lot of shopping, they have a technology now where one of the four wheels actually has like a little chip in it.
Mm-hmm. That locks it. And
it locks if it goes like a certain distance from the establishment. So like you just literally can't leave with them unless you like put them in the back of a truck and drive off with it. But it locks. So I think that one's probably going to be less of a problem.
People will just drag it.
Just then it becomes noise pollution at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But
it was actually funny. I was looking. I was like, if I actually wanted a shopping cart for my own personal use, could I get one? And I found a place they actually didn't have the price, but it's like, we'll send you a quote. So obviously you're supposed to buy more than one, but it's possible. You could buy your own personal shopping cart.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be baller. Just walk around campus instead of a backpack. You just got a shopping cart full of your books and stuff. Just like I think that's 3 levels more insane than people who walk around with those little wheelie backpacks.
I had one of those once upon a time.
Of course you did. Those didn't exist when I was in school. I think maybe like by my senior year, there was one nerd walking around campus with a wheelie backpack. But
I was that nerd.
Yeah, well, we're 10 years apart. They're a lot more common now.
All I gotta do is it's like I don't gotta put it on. I just pull it behind me.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense from an ergonomic standpoint, but from a cool kid in school standpoint.
See, all my friends were developing scoliosis and hunchbacks. Me, I was standing tall, my chest puffed out as I pulled my backpack behind me.
Yeah. I mean, my backpack was the least of my concerns because I did drumline and I played like tenor drums, and those things were way heavier than any backpack. So I guess in perspective, I had very little concern about my spinal dexterity at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those books are heavy, man. Oh, I had a traditional high school too, in the sense that we had I actually had a locker. I had a locker in one of our main halls, and then I also had a band locker. So I never I always had a place to kind of stash my stuff. But yeah, I remember when I started school back in the 90s, not only was it cool to have a backpack, but it was cool to have a JanSport backpack and only wear it on one shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
So, the old Zach Morris, so that was even worse for your back. That was the one strap straight up like scoliosis machine back in my day.
A whole generation of people just
like this
tilted.
just like how the generation before me, there's all those my grandma is like permanently hunched over from before they realized that like posture was a thing, and they spent all day just at a typewriter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have like that permanent like just giant bump in their back from slouching all day, every day, typing at a not a computer, a typewriter.
Mm-hmm. Ergonomics had yet to be invented.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So anyway, long story short, we got super derailed there. But I would say for me, probably the bigger beef is the dirty car. If I had to choose one, even though I've become more lax, it still bugs me when a car is like past that point of like, yeah, there's times where you feel uncomfortable, just like, nah, I don't need a ride, dude. It's pretty hard to get in a car. Like if anyone ever offered me a ride in one of those cars in one of those pictures, I would probably decline.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas shopping carts, it's annoying. They're kind of ugly, whatever, but like, they'll probably be gone in a couple days. It's not that big of a deal. I don't care that much.
Yeah, and you're not jumping in it and going for a ride.
Exactly.
Or are you? You know, it actually kind of depends.
You're like, oh, cool. I needed a shopping cart, and just grab it and go. So, what do you think? I'm gonna go with riding dirty. I think for me,
I'm gonna have to go riding dirty as well.
Yeah.
For the same reason, it's like, yeah, the shopping cart, it's a blemish in the neighborhood. My neighborhood's not the most upstanding for its looks, so it kind of fits right in, so it wouldn't really bother me.
Yeah.
But dirty car, I have to, especially how long the destination is, just sitting in there knowing like this car's a mess.
That's a good point. What if
keeping your arms up because the armrest has like cigarette burns on it. Like
your buddy's like, road trip, we're going to Vegas. Like 4 hours sitting in just like a trash mobile.
Yeah. So definitely going to have to go right and dirty on this one.
Yeah. And as far as shopping carts being shitty in general, like when you go to use them, he kind of made that point at the beginning. I am that asshole. I will pull 4 carts from the thing until I get one that doesn't suck. I have no shame when it comes to like I'll pull one out and I'll seriously like walk back and forth and push it a couple times. Like, no, this shit sucks. Grab another one. I'll just keep handing them people walking by, giving them the shitty ones until I find a good one, and then I'll go in.
Mm-hmm.
So
this cart, it was made for me.
What's this? And there's definitely some establishments that have better carts than others.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Target consistently has pretty decent carts. They're like mostly plastic, and they're just, I don't know, whatever wheel or fucking whatever technology they figured out. Their carts seem to be consistently better than like Walmart or Food Max.
Yeah, those plastic carts are actually very nice. Like the more like wireframe ones, they always have one janky wheel that doesn't quite turn at the rate you need it to, so it's always stuck at an angle.
Yeah, and then it like the one's the worst where like one wheel is slightly higher off the ground, and it kind of touches the ground every once in a while, so it just kind of like spins around and wobbles and just makes everything terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Meshyf said it sounds like both of you have left carts in your neighborhoods.
All right, look, I have never had to go getting groceries that necessitated me taking a shopping cart home. But I have seen people taking shopping carts from the local Stater Brothers and heading towards my neighborhood. On occasion.
No, I was more destructive than that, Meshyf. Me and my buddies back in high school had a pastime we called shopping cart bowling. I have video evidence. Maybe someday I'll maybe are we past the statute of limitations on destroying Vaughn's shopping carts? It's been like 20 years. I think we're probably safe. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, probably.
Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go with riding dirty on this one.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 309. Is that good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. On go, we'll do it. 1, 2,
All right.
3, go. Oh, I have no sound. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it was
Like
just
the ring. You think you got
soundless.
it? It is the final beef. Shopping carts.
What?
Shopping carts are the biggest beef of the week because they're just the biggest fucking eyesore and 100% avoidable. No excuse for taking the shopping cart. No excuse for leaving it just randomly askew someplace for someone else to deal with. Fuck you people. You people are awful. human beings. If you got a dirty car and it's just your own little world, you want to live in a little rat pile, and you don't bring anyone else in there, fine. That's fine. No problem. These fucking shopping cart people, though, they've got to be stopped. They're a menace to society, and they are the beef of the week.
Boo!
All right, I'll take his explanation. I'll take it this time.
No. I mean, I get it.
It's understandable. It's their own little world. Yeah, that's true. We have to choose to go in there.
But he specifically made a point about getting in other people's cars. So that's what I was basing my premise off of. Like, if someone's like, yeah, I'll give you a ride, dude. And then, like, you open the door and it's literally a dumpster. Like, there's nothing worse than that. Because now, like, well, it puts you in this shitty situation where it's like, oh, they're offering me a favor, but now I have to decline it and look like an asshole because their car, like, is a hobo's paradise. Like, there's no more uncomfortable. I hate uncomfortable situations. I can't even watch the movie Meet the Parents. Like, I literally, like, anything that makes me feel uncomfortable, I will avoid. Awkward comedy is the bane of my existence because I feel everything they feel. So to have someone be like, dude,
way too much.
Dude, I'll give you a ride, and then they open the door and it's the fucking trash jungle. I literally can't. I can't. So there's nothing.
He literally can't, guys. He reverted to a 16-year-old white girl.
I can't even. Literally can't even.
That's how bad it is.
No, I'm not saying awkward people. That Bishop girl and JC Crown, there's a difference between awkward people and awkward situations. I'm talking about awkward situations. There's, like, awkward people, I mean, I have no problem with that. We've had kind of like quirky, awkward people even on this podcast. We have a great time, interview, whatever. I'm talking about, like, situations where it's just like you're stuck.
There's no winning.
Yeah, exactly.
You get in the dirty car, or you say, no, I think I'll walk. It's like, both aren't good.
Either way, you lose. It's a lose-lose situation because you decline the ride and you're the asshole, or you take the ride and you sit in garbage. I don't know. It's a rough one. Dude, it's been almost 2 hours already. I did want to mention this article that I just saw. This is kind of crazy. There's a Amazon is, so they tried drones and now they have AI little delivery cars, and like I hadn't even thought about. So you know, there's all the talk about technology as far as autonomous vehicles, like self-driving cars. I haven't even thought about taking little tiny baby cute self-drivable cars to deliver shit. Like, no people in them at all. Just like, I don't know why that didn't even cross my mind, but so Amazon is going to try this technology. I think they said in
Seattle, I think.
Seattle, yeah. They're literally just gonna throw your package in a little car that drives down the sidewalk until it gets to your house and delivers your shit for you. It's kind of a cool idea. I do have a couple questions about it, but I wanted to watch this short little clip. They kind of show an example of it. See if it loads. I have to turn off ad blocker. Load for me.
I'm thinking it's got to be pretty heavy. Otherwise, you see it rolling down the street, and then you're just like, I got a net in the back.
Well, yeah, no. So there, it does. It is a locking hatch. It won't unlock until it confirms that you're, like, coming out to pick it up or whatever. And I would imagine there's kind of a window in the front. I would imagine there's probably at least a 180 camera, probably not a 360 camera. If they were smart, I would think they would do like a dome on the top with a 360 camera. So they could, you know, if someone
just approach it from the back, toss the net over it, and scoop it into the pickup.
No, someone rolls up with a white van right next to it and just grabs it and throws it in, and then just smashes it and then opens it up. Like I don't know. That's the concern, is that they're small enough to just swipe off the sidewalk.
But I mean, they probably thought about that.
That's
probably why they're doing it in Seattle. Like, they want an area that they can probably map very easily.
Right.
And the distances aren't too far.
What do you mean? Long Beach is perfectly safe.
All those packages would never make it to their destination. They're like, sir, our Amazon drones 1 through 72, they've all gone offline.
Within 3 days, our drones have all been destroyed, and thousands of dollars worth of products have been stolen.
Well, yeah, that's actually really interesting, because people were thinking of like the flying drones, but those are much more like, that's a much bigger issue. Like, it's flying, you can't put something heavy on it, but this, like, just riding down the sidewalk, you could definitely see that happen.
I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, the drone makes it back to the office, and there's obviously going to be dicks drawn all over it, right? Like, some asshole teenagers with Sharpies are just going to be like, "Hey, there's a prime one, get it!" And they're just going to like, I guarantee you, it's not going to take long before it comes back with like some racial slurs and dicks drawn all over these things by the time they make it back to the office at the end of delivering a package.
That's when they add guns.
It's gonna have a MAGA hat like super glued to the top of it, and fucking a dick butt on the side. It's gonna be bad.
They're gonna get vandalized.
Oh, absolutely, vandalized and stolen for sure. I mean, Seattle is, like you said, it's probably safe as a good testing ground, but bring that to the Central Valley of California, and good luck.
That seems to be a pretty big problem with like most of the cool tech shit.
Yeah,
like the limes. You don't see that in the area I'm from, but San Jose, oh, they're everywhere.
Yeah. No, same thing with they just started dropping them in my hometown, and I think I saw a few of them, and they actually had a little lock on them. There's like a mechanism that has like a little thing that you can like wrap around a pole to lock it. So it's like one extra kind of measure. You still like, so, and the lock goes into the same, the little control panel where you like scan it or whatever. It just has like a little metal wire coming out of that like loops around like a pole or something and locks back in.
Yeah, just as a deterrent so people don't just lift them.
Right. So I don't know.
Makes it hard to push over as well.
Yeah.
Because that was a big issue. So many of them were just like lying on the floor.
Or like thrown in a bush. You can still cut them and throw them in a river. Hey, Bollocks would know. Bollocks is actually signed up as a charger. So he can like unlock them and take them home and charge them.
But it's an extra step. The people that already want to vandalize it, they're going to vandalize it.
Right. Anyway, I wanted to watch this little video clip because it kind of shows you like an example of what it does.
God dang it, Bobby. This clip has a copyright.
Imagine being that Amazon worker. All right, so this week you're going to follow the robot around. Just walk the entire day.
Do you have to be home for this? I guess you do, because the hatch doesn't even open until you confirm that you're like coming out to get it.
It might be one of those things like how they already have same day delivery for some things.
Right.
So like if you need it right now, it's like, all right, the robot will be at your house in like 2 hours.
Nah, so they'll just need to add like a package cannon. And Meshyf said they should add a gun for theft deterrent. So eventually it'll just roll down the street and just like bust a cap in people. And then like when it gets to your house, it just has like some type of trebuchet or package cannon that just like launches the package at your door.
He eats it through the window.
Just yeet. Here's your package, bitch. I love the part where it says right here where it says let's see if I can find it. Amazon did not make it clear how the device would protect what does it say? Protect the customer's privacy or delivery. So I imagine, when I was a kid, there was a prank where you would order a pizza, but you would put like somebody else's address. Like one time that happened to us, my sister, one of her friends from school, they called like every pizza place within a 2-mile radius. And so that night we got like 12 people showing up at our door from different pizza places, all being like, "Did you order a large pepperoni?" And it was a prank, obviously, and it was a waste of everybody's time. I think we ended up buying one of the pizzas, but like, I can see this being abused where. Because it says there's no will not make clear how the device would protect customers' privacy or delivery. How are you going to confirm? Like, what if I ordered like a giant purple dildo and had it delivered to your to your dorms? You know, like how are they gonna protect? They have to have some type. I guess to verify your address somehow, but. Because
these things can probably only deliver one package at a time. Now that I think about it,
it's not a very big compartment.
Yeah, and even that, like, if they put multiple things in it, they'd have to also have more storage and like more compartments in it that are also locked, which means less space for larger stuff.
Right.
Because like what it looks right there is just like cooler sized, just opens wide up, so it can only hold one thing.
You could do that now, JimmyNavio. Yeah, but my point is, like, in the example they show here, the person has to walk out to the curb to get their package. So that, like, the privacy is a concern, right? I don't know. Maybe they'll box stuff up so you don't.
The only scenario I think that you could use for criminals, like you have a stolen credit card, you buy something same day, have it shipped to like the closest address it can go, and then wait in a bush until you see it coming down the road, and then like just run onto their porch, wait for it, and then grab the package.
Yeah. I mean, I know package theft has been on the rise in general anyway. Like this Christmas season, the numbers were like, it spiked quite a bit. And now, but more of it's kind of fun now though, because more of them are getting caught with, everyone's got those, the Ring doorbells, the Wi-Fi camera doorbells or whatever. So I enjoyed the holiday season because I watched like compilations of dumbass criminals stealing packages off people's doorsteps.
There were a ton on Reddit where it's like package thief fucking trips running with the package.
Well, and there was that guy who built that. He's a NASA engineer, and he built that that package that when you open it, it sprays glitter everywhere and records from like a 360 view. Did you see that video?
I don't think I have.
Oh, I'm gonna have to send it to you. Like he over-engineered this beautiful creation of a box where you open it and it has a little tray in the top full of extra fine glitter that sprays in every direction. But then he also had a bunch of cheap like cell phones that would automatically start recording when you open the box. And then after that, it would spray fart spray every 30 seconds.
Oh God. So
what happened is it would cause people they'd open it, it would shoot glitter everywhere, and they'd be like, what the fuck? And then they'd sit there and like kind of look at it for a sec. And then you hear the mechanical, like, it's a mechanical device that basically rotates and makes the fart spray go. So you hear this, and it sprays like 5 sprays of fart spray. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, what the fuck? What's that smell? And they like throw it out the window. And he designed it that way so that they would ditch the package so he could recover it. It was ingenious. So he got like 7 or 8 like solid videos of people opening this package, getting shit on by glitter, and then having their noses violated before they yeet it out the window. Like,
yeah, you need to send me this video.
Oh, you gotta, yeah, definitely. I'm sure someone can probably find it and post it in chat, but it's classic. And then there was a guy in Fresno, California, who kept getting his packages stolen. So he took a package and he filled it with he scooped his cat's shit from the cat litter for like a week straight, saved it all in a box, and taped up the box and put it on his doorstep. And sure enough, someone came and stole it and just like walked off. The word of this episode is yeet, Meshyf. This episode is called Voiceover Yeet. Didn't you get the memo? Yeet is the word of the week. We're gonna start doing a word of the week like fucking Sesame Street. But yeah, he filled a box with like cat shit and clumps of cat litter, and someone walked off with it. Unfortunately, there's no reaction video for that one, but yeah, package theft is on the rise. If you're concerned about it, you can contact your local UPS and FedEx and tell them you prefer not to have your packages left. They can put that on file for you if it's a concern.
Mm-hmm. It almost happened with my mic. Luckily, it was just delivered to the wrong address. But it was like delivered 2 hours ago. I go outside, don't see the package, and I'm like, it was 2 hours.
Yeah.
How could this have happened?
That would have sucked.
That was too slow.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about this type of technology, but I'm skeptical because there's so many things. I mean, a few of them we already talked about, but there's so many things that could go wrong.
You meet one of these on the sidewalk, it points its gun at you. You're like, "Whoa, I'm trying to rob you."
Step away from the robot.
You have entered the 3-meter danger zone. Please step away before lethal force is authorized.
And then it'll show up on rotten.com, just a compilation of people getting shot by Amazon Prime robots. Or at least some pepper spray. There's got to be some type of deterrent. Some what are those beanbag bullets or something?
Mm-hmm. Just mount a BB gun on it.
Ooh, there you go. Just shoot them in their. Yeah. We could definitely come up with some creative creations. Or you know how how about in high school there's always that rumor, and I never actually tested it myself. It's kind of like the old rumor where you say if there's a chemical in the pool. If you pee in the pool, it'll turn blue. They would tell that to little kids to try and deter them from peeing in the pool. In high school, I don't know if you remember, but they'd say if you pull the fire alarm, blue ink will come out and we'll know who did it. I never actually witnessed that happening. Is that an actual thing? Is there actual
blue ink? I doubt it.
I have never in my life witnessed blue ink come out of a fire alarm when you pull it, and I'm really wondering if that's a real thing or if that was just like them telling kids that in high school. So you could do the same thing, right? Like you could just have the rumor of a deterrent.
Mm-hmm.
They're like
the robot is actually it's coated in this material that we can actually track. It leaves a trail. So if you even touch the robot other than grabbing the package, you'll get caught.
Yeah. Or just actually just literally shoot blue ink at them.
Mm-hmm.
Just permanent, just tattoo their entire body if they try and roll up on it. And be like, who did it? They have the lineup and there's just one dude that's just like, I blew myself.
I did this on purpose. It was not me, officer.
Yeah. But dude, now I want to know, can someone out there go to a high school and for science, just pull the fire alarm and see if you get blue ink on your hand?
Just light a fire first so you have a good reason to pull it.
Light a fire in the hallway and then pull the fire alarm and let us know how it goes. That would be I'd appreciate it if you could report back. You can email us at hitthebucketpodcast@gmail.com with your findings. We'll do it for science. Yeah, so that did we want to touch on the whole my racist moment before the podcast? I caught myself almost being racist right before we started the show. Because James was talking about that game that he's been playing, and he's like, "Oh, I lent my friends some money, but I could take it back. I could cancel the loan or whatever
in exchange for something else."
Yeah, and basically, in my head, because when I was a kid, this was a very common phrase. Disclaimer: in my head, I was thinking, "Oh, you Indian giver," and I had to catch myself. I was like, oh shit, I don't think I can say that anymore. Even though I guarantee you when I was a kid, the phrase Indian giver was super common. Along with sitting Indian style, I think they call it crisscross applesauce now.
That one I have heard of.
Yeah, but and you had never heard Indian giver, and I was like, oh, dude, I almost said Indian giver just now, and you're like, I've never heard that phrase in my entire life. So we Googled it to find out the origin of it and everything. It was one of those moments where I actually was like, before it even left my mouth, I was like,
is this racist?
I'm pretty sure this is racist, but I grew up saying this all the time. Holy shit.
Oh, frick. We forgot about it.
What?
Forgot about Jumbotron James.
Oh, is it still there?
It's still there.
We should probably do it. Oh, it was the Rabbit Speaks.
That's why.
Well, he's here now. We should probably do it. Dude, we've been sitting on this Jumbotron James for like 3 weeks because we knew that you would show up eventually and we would read it for you.
Rabbit told me, when Jumbotron James, it's time. DM me. It completely.
All right, we'll come back to Indian giving, but because I have a clip I want to play. We went down the Indian giving rabbit hole, and it was actually really interesting. So I wanted to talk about it. But let's hit this Jumbotron James real quick for Rabbit.
Right. I know Rabbit was looking forward to me doing this. Boy toy named Troy used to live in Detroit. Big dope deal of money. He was getting some coins. Was in shootouts with the law, but he lived in a palace. Bought me Alexander McQueen. He was keeping me stylish. Now that's real, real, real. Gun in my purse, bitch, I came just to kill. You just wanted me to sing. Pretty sure that's Anaconda. How dare.
Yeah, I'm muted. I'm sorry about that. What I was going to say is I haven't been advertising Jumbotron James because I've been working on some stuff behind the scenes. But if you want to have James read a message on the stream, there's going to be a couple of ways you can do that. We're going to keep the traditional way that we've done it in the past, where you can go to my Twitch stream and spend some ducats and buy a message that James will read. There's that way. So that's not going away. But there's people out there who listen to the show who don't necessarily watch it live on Twitch. They might listen to it on iTunes or, YouTube or whatever. If you want to have a message or an advertisement read on the stream, you can PayPal me. I think we haven't decided on the amount yet. It's not going to be a lot. It's mostly just to make it official so it doesn't get abused. It can be a few bucks, but it's going to be on the website. You'll be able to PayPal a few dollars to JimmyNavio@gmail.com. And I think I'm going to switch that soon to I need to link my PayPal to the podcast email address, but there's going to be a way for you to directly support the show and have James read a message during the podcast. So the website and all that stuff, it's in the works. You can still do it the old-fashioned way, but there's more to come. So I was trying to hold off on announcing that, but Rabbit Speaks reminded us about the Jumbotron James, so I'll make that announcement now. Pretty soon.
It's like I'm a Fiverr artist now.
Exactly. So if you want to have James read a silly message or an advertisement or a message to a loved one or a proposal, whatever it might be, there's going to be a way for you to officially do that soon. You can still do it, like I said, through the Twitch ducat overlay thing, but we're going to have a more official PayPal kind of way to do it soon. So keep an eye out for that. And well done, by the way. You nailed it.
Thank you.
More rap lyrics, please. Maybe we could get some. Could someone get him to attempt Rap God or something? We need.
Oh God. That's. Oof.
Come on.
I need like multiple takes on that.
It'll be like me attempting Be Prepared when I'm drunk.
Mm-hmm. Only 10 times harder. 10 times faster.
True. Except you have the advantage of being sober. So
that's true. I'm gonna have to start practicing that one though, in advance, just in case.
So anyway, before we end the show, I did want to kind of talk about this whole Indian giver thing. So we found out, we did some Googling on it, and let's pull it up again because I was really I was quite interested when we started talking about it. Indian giver origin.
Oh, you're in the wrong overlay.
Oh, I did it again. See, we were supposed to have a guest tonight. Just saying. So right here, if you look at Wikipedia, Indian giver is an American expression used to describe a person who gives a gift and later wants it back, or who expects something of equivalent worth in return for the item. It is based on cultural misunderstandings that took place between early European explorers and indigenous people with whom they traded. Often the Europeans would view an exchange of items as gifting, believing they owed nothing in return to the natives who were generous with them, while the indigenous people saw the exchange as a form of trade or equal exchange, so had differing expectations of their gifts. The phrase is still in colloquial use to describe a negative act or shady business dealings. So it's kind of it's a gray area, and I know it was used a lot in my youth. I remember hearing that phrase quite often, but obviously James had never even heard the phrase, so it's probably
it was alien to me.
It's not used as much as it used to be, but essentially, like an Indian giver, if you call someone an Indian giver, it's a very negative connotation, and it's like, you gave someone $50, they're like, oh, I whatever, and then like a month later, you're like, hey man, I need that $50 back. And they're like, what? I thought that was like, what are you talking about? I thought
that was a gift.
Yeah. And you're like, no, man. I like that. You owe me, dude. That was a loan. It's basically that was when I was a kid. That was what it meant. Was like someone who gave you something and then later on down the road was like, never mind, I need that back. So we did a little more research, and apparently it was very common, like Native Americans, because it was they mostly dealt on a barter system. So whenever there was a deal, there would be an exchange of goods, and it wasn't necessarily a gift. Both parties were expected to exchange some type of good or service, and
even if they were unequal,
right? Even if it was unequal, it was just like, oh, I'll give you this for that. And our discussion ended on me being reminded of something that happened recently where I don't know if you guys saw this, but Chevron, the giant energy conglomerate, was trying to gain access to a camp, to basically indigenous people's land. And it is super cringeworthy because they showed up trying to trade some goods. And I'm not going to play the whole video. I'm going to skip ahead. But essentially, these representatives from Chevron showed up, and and they were like, "So can we come on your land?" Blah blah blah. There was a back and forth. There's kind of a discussion, and I'm just going to start playing it at this point when the exchange kind of breaks down a little bit. That's all I'm going to say. You can piece together what happens for yourself.
You'll be wiping out. And like I said, the fur-bearing animals, which we trap and depend on for income. And
so basically, she's saying if you do this, it's going to have a very negative impact on the ecosystem, on the animals, on the land, on everything that we're trying to preserve and protect here. So no, you can't have access to our land. You're here to fuck shit up, basically.
Our salmon is our staple food. You'll be wiping out all our food sources.
So what you're telling us is that you will not allow us access onto the territory. We understand that. We thank you for your time here today.
We are the authority of this territory,
yes.
The province isn't.
We brought you an offering. We've left some water, some tobacco for you.
We've got clean water right there that's supposed to drink, and pollution, the plastic.
We have brought you an offering. Some water, some tobacco.
Look at that.
All we ask is the right to build some oil pipeline on your land.
Look at it. Look at the offering. It's literally one case of bottled water and a pack of tobacco so that we can come on your land and destroy your entire ecosystem. And then they take it back. They don't even leave it. They're like, all right, fuck you. Yeet. There you go. Word of the day.
Oh my lord.
And she's like, it's funny, you can't really hear it because the music starts playing in this clip. There's a version of it without the music, but basically what she says in response is like, they're literally standing next to a river. So if you back it up, I'll play it one more time, see if you can hear it. The music kind of drowns it out.
You could pick your...
She says, and that's pollution, the plastic that adds to the landfill. Oh wait, I gotta back it up a little more.
Some tobacco.
We've got clean water.
She says, "No thanks. We've got clean water right there. That's good to drink." There's literally a flowing river that they're standing on a bridge over a freshwater river, and they're offering them a case of bottled water. It's ridiculous. Hold on.
You know, it did say they didn't have to be equal.
Yeah, true, but that's just
we want to build a pipeline. It's going to ruin the ecosystem. It's going to make us a lot of money, and in exchange, here's a case of water and tobacco.
Oh man, what is this clip? Oh, that's him reading the. There you go. You can share that clip with all your friends. You should probably go post it on Video Gamers Discord. I'm sure they would appreciate it. But yeah, no, our whole discussion about like the whole exchange of goods and Indian giving and all that stuff, it reminded me of this clip, so I had to play it because it was just it's so bad. Even if this is a common practice, it just looks and feels so bad. Like it just there's nothing good about how I feel when I watch this.
Especially the man's reaction. He's like, all right, so you don't want us on your land? All right, we understand, but we did bring a gift of water and tobacco. It's like, I mean, come on, it's a pretty sweet deal. I don't know why you're not taking it.
Yeah. So yeah, don't try and destroy their
Don't be
ethos.
that guy.
Hey, can I come over and poop in your living room? I mean, I brought over like some Gatorade. Is that cool? So the guy that shows up to the party with half a pizza that he already ate and is like already drunk when he shows up. He's here to wreck shit. Nah, dude, you're not coming in. Sorry. Not happening. Anyway, people are crazy. So, what's the next YouTube video you got in the works? I saw you had a couple Minecraft ones recently that you dropped, right?
Yes. Probably gonna do. I've had ideas. I want to work on some intro outro stuff to make the quality a bit better because it's just like right to the thing. So I want to do some stuff, but I'm sitting on a bunch of games that some developers have given me codes for. So I want to make videos for those. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 if I include that one, and then a couple more keys. So I have like 14 videos I'm going to make there from these indie titles. But apart from that, I'm not quite sure when it's going to be out.
Cool. We should feature some of them on the. You should reach out to some of them about doing a podcast spot.
I'll see.
Maybe
I'll see how they respond to the video, because sometimes some devs have like come in on the video and been like, "Oh yeah, like thanks for the feedback. We really appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to make this video. It means a lot to us." So if it happens again, I'll use that.
Yeah, we could have them on as a guest, or we could like feature a clip of you playing the game, or we could play it together and talk about it. Like, I'd be totally down to check out some of that stuff. See what's going on. That's the benefit. For those who don't know, James has a less than small, or not exactly small, YouTube channel. He's very humble about it, but he's an accomplished YouTuber. One thing I noticed, less than small. That's not what I meant. I meant like not small, the opposite of small.
It's absolutely tiny.
Micro penis. No, he has a YouTube channel that he has cultivated over many years since he was in his pre-teens. He's had this YouTube going for a while.
Well, not that one. That one's more high school, but
anyway, you've been doing YouTube for many moons. And one thing I did notice, I check out your channel every once in a while, and I noticed that every time you drop, it's got to be tempting to link. It's got to be tempting to not create anything other than Minecraft videos, because every time you drop a Minecraft video, the view count is so much higher than anything else. And that's like, it's that whole thing where you get pigeonholed, right? Because there's like it's kind of like the equivalent on Twitch would be like, you're the guy who always streams that one game. Like every time you drop a Minecraft video, it's like thousands of views, right? Like tens of thousands of views. And then you'll drop a Slay the Spire video and it maybe gets 200. Like, how are you not tempted to just constantly be cranking out Minecraft videos?
Honestly, I am. But no, that's actually part of the planning that I was doing. I was like, all right, clearly they're what do the best, but I still want to do other stuff. So it's like, I'll have days where I do that and days where I do other stuff, or maybe a double upload day where I do both. Because I'm not like interested in toying with the algorithm and doing all of that, as long as I can create stuff that I actually want to do.
Right. Okay. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's that grind, man.
Mm-hmm. Never stop.
Never stop. Never surrender. Got to keep producing content. For better or for worse.
Mm-hmm. I mean, eventually something other than Minecraft will get, around that level, and then it's all right. It's paid off.
Well, who knows? Maybe like down the road, the Slay the Spire ones will just kind of trickle their way up.
Or Minecraft 2.
Ooh. Oh, yeah. What was that game called you compared to Minecraft?
Oh, Hytale.
Any more?
Beta's coming out like this year.
Any more? Because you played it, right? Were you in like the alpha or beta?
No, I'm not. It's not out yet.
Oh, okay.
The closed beta will be out this year, and I got the email that I'm in, so it's just waiting. Wait and see.
We'll have to see how crazy their NDA is, because if you can start creating videos for it, just be the first one, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's like got it
all planned. It's like, oh, they pushed out an update video. What's happened? What are they adding? What are they taking out? What's changing?
If it is what you say it is, there's definitely
like they showed recently in the newsletter, they showed off their modding tools, and it's like, so if you want to make a static object like a sword, it's super easy. Just you can import a model yourself or model it in the engine, and then you're good. Wow. You can just designate it as sword, and it'll just work flawlessly. And then they showed like, oh, if you want to do more complicated stuff, like it's in the works. Like we already have the bare bones essentials for that type of stuff as well.
Yeah.
So they actually finish it, which I think they really want to, since they're like, it's a group of people that loved Minecraft and wanted to build this, so they'll finish it.
They'd be silly not to, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
because they already ran the biggest Minecraft server currently, which was Hypixel. They have the incentive.
So I'll be checking out your YouTube channel for updates on that.
Mm-hmm. I'll let you know.
All right. That's it. That's the show. We did it. It's 8:30. Wow. Definitely did not feel like 2.5 hours.
Mm-hmm. Which is good. Means the conversation flowed. There were no lulls. We weren't like, oh. So you hear anything in the news you find interesting? Your segues were on point.
Oh, thank you, sir. I do my best. I was just trying to see if there's someone we could raid or host. You know who's who's streaming right now? Voiceover Pete. Should we raid him? Let's do it. More to come on that front. But I think we might go raid Voiceover Pete. Oof. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to raid Voiceover Pete right now. And I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Should be on tomorrow. I think I'm going to do a little stream. Play some games. James has been streaming more lately as well. He's been... he's around here. He's been known as the serial procrastinator, but he's actually improved his productivity. He's been telling me that he's had more time to stream because he's been staying on top of his homework. So make sure you go check
right
out.
after this, doing more homework so I
Yeah.
can stream tomorrow.
There you go. So check out James28. As always, these episodes will go up by Friday on hitthebucket.com, or you can just search for Hit the Bucket on whatever podcast app you use. It'll pop right up. If you want to subscribe, download an episode, give it a listen, give it a rating. We could really use some, especially like on iTunes. You can write a little review, give it like a however many stars you think we deserve. Yeah, check it out. Tell your friends. Hit the Bucket. Bunch of nerds hanging out, talking about stupid nerd shit, games and stuff. So. What's the raid message? I don't know. Just drop some buckets. Say hi. Let him know that you appreciate what he does. Nothing. There you go. Hit the bucket. I like that one. That's a good one. Let's go with that. All right. I will initiate the raid, and we will say goodnight. Thank you guys for being here. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. And I'll drop this just a little tidbit. I might be doing a giveaway soon to promote the YouTube channel, so keep your ear to the ground. It's coming. I'll probably announce it on Discord first. I usually let my Discord community know. I give them like a day heads up before I like tweet it out and shit, but we're gonna do a giveaway. We gotta get the YouTube channel pumping, so keep an eye out for that. Have a good night, everyone. Let's go say hi to Mr. Voice Over Pete, and we'll be back next week, hopefully with a guest. If not, you get to look at James's pretty face. Good night.